Warning.
Welcome to Guaranteed Audio, an audio-only podcast this time from the folks over at Guaranteed Video. I am one of your many hosts, Kevin James, joined by some friends today. Neil, who are you?
Neil. Ciceriga.
Well, I would go in like an order of familiarity, because then people will know our next guest.
Corey Tilton.
Yeah.
And nobody knows this next guy.
No, Anthony Gann. I'm new to this.
Anthony, why do you think you're here?
Because I went to college with someone more famous than me. Who's Kevin?
The famous Kevin James.
The famous Kevin James.
The one and only Kevin James. Anthony and I go way back. If you've never listened to Guaranteed Audio before, we are pretty much what you expect out of a podcast. We're going to talk about the subject matter that you saw in the thumbnail or the YouTube link or on your podcast feed. This episode is going to be all about the wide world of Jackass. Yeah, we're going to talk about it for an hour to an hour and a half, and then we have to make our dinner reservation with our other friends. So let's get to it. Introductions. Anthony, you went to college with me.
I did.
You are an artist of sorts. You write?
I do. Yeah, I was write short science fiction. I teach high school English.
You play drums?
I do. Yeah,
That's an art.
That is an art in itself. Yeah, I used to play in the band Hello Ninja, which Kevin directed 2 videos for us.
You're a percussionist.
I am. Yes, I do hit things.
A percussivist. Yeah, we're just a bunch of New England creative schmoes, and we have microphones, and
We all play drums except you, Kevin, actually.
yeah, I was a brass instrument guy, and it's too cold to do a video show right now. We have a heater in our studio, but there's like a crazy cold snap coming tonight. For like 3 days, it's going to be very cold, and we just decided to do an audio show.
There's too many whirly gigs and distractions in that room, and we need to like really lock in and talk about the merits of Jackass today.
Someone must archive this.
Yeah.
But first,
What?
our first segment.
Media Current. Media Current is something we do on most episodes of this show where we discuss some art or entertainment we have consumed lately. Not all.
Other than the main topic of discussion.
Other than the main topic, because, not all entertainment is art. Some of it is content. So, yeah, we're just going to go around robin. Does anyone want to go first? Anthony should probably go last because I think you probably
I want to see the what do you all do? And
Yeah.
Why don't you start, Kevin?
Okay. I went to a concert 2 nights ago with my sister. We went and saw Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers band at the House of Blues in Boston.
Are his actual brothers in the band?
No, I was kind of hoping for one of the Murray brothers to come out. One guy kind of looked like Brian Doyle.
Yeah, but unless he sounds like Brian Doyle, what's the point?
There's been a bit of Brian Doyle Murray erasure lately because Anthony and I went and saw the new SpongeBob movie and Mark Hamill replaced him as the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he was great. I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
But the Bill Murray show, my sister and I both had the idea of buying each other Bill Murray concert tickets for Christmas. She beat me to it. I was asking if she was available a certain day to go to a concert, and she said, "Oh, I already bought tickets to see Bill Murray that night with you for Christmas." So we went, and it was like 2-hour show. They did a bunch of like blues standards, a lot of covers. They played some Prince, which was great. Bob Dylan, the Stones. But you're really there to watch Murray ham it up, and they kind of own the fact that he's not a real musician. They give him a bunch of percussion instruments to play. He had a triangle, a cowbell, bongos. What's it called?
Like second grade instruments.
Yeah, what's the one?
Very John Stamos
Like
and
the
the Beach Boys.
Not the bell. What's the one where you have like the hanging
Like
chimes?
the are those
Wind
wind
chimes.
chimes?
Yeah, wind
Or
chimes.
is there another name for? Yeah. Did he have a rain stick?
He didn't have a rain stick. He was great. It was a lot of fun. He's 75 years old now, Bill Murray. I just assume he knows like he's on borrowed time. He had a lot of energy. He was super fun. He was great with the audience. He talked about Boston right up front. He thanked his good friend Dan Aykroyd for opening the House of Blues in 1992. I forgot that Dan Aykroyd opened the House of Blues.
Yeah.
So my sister and I were excited to see Bill Murray talk about Dan Aykroyd.
There are certain comedians and actors who, like, if you're going to see them have like a vanity band, like he is one of the ones that it works. It's cute. It's not annoying.
Yeah, and his first song that he sang was Werewolves of London, and he like really like gave it his all.
Nice.
He did Jenny 8675309, which it felt like karaoke for the whole room. Like everyone kind of knew when to do the call and answer
Did
component.
it feel like his lounge singer character at all?
No, and that's what my sister expected. She wanted to be surprised. I looked up the set list in advance, so I knew like, okay, it's a blues show. Like some people in this band are from Conan O'Brien's band, and it's gonna be like watching like a college band play. Everything he did was just like rock standard stuff. Like when he did like a Rolling Stone, like he was like scream singing and really into it. He didn't sing every song. The songs he didn't sing though, like he would sit on the piano and be like pounding water and stuff like that. A ton of energy for a 75-year-old guy, and I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he came around. It's a great memory. So that is my media current.
Hey.
That's how it's done, Anthony.
Very good. I've been taking notes.
Corey.
So I have like a 2-part media current that I want to jump on. One part, really sad. I saw a movie called Coyotes recently with Justin Long, and I was kind of excited about it. And spoiler alert, there's coyotes in it. And double spoiler alert, I started watching it with Elise, and it's all AI.
AI.
What?
All of the CGI is AI in it, or at least they did moderate CG work and then AI'd over it.
Weird.
It is unsettling looking. They're kind of doing that weird morph, like the skin fur textures are kind of like
Breathing.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It was a bummer because it's kind of a cool, like it's a pretty low budget, like sci-fi style movie, but it had like a cool plot and like some cool ideas, and
It's very new then. It's got to be new.
2025.
He's like kind of a guerrilla horror movie darling too. People associate Justin Long as like a scream queen of the modern era.
Barbarians and like Tusk and
Drag Me to Hell.
Yep.
The first Jeepers Creepers,
Yeah. Galaxy Quest, horrifying.
That movie's great.
But on a not as like kind of depressing note, myself and you and my girlfriend Elise and Max and Betsy, we went and saw the new 28 Years Later movie, Bone Temple. And it was great.
It's great.
Had a really, really fun time watching it. Some great actors in it, just like chewing the scenery.
Very chamber drama, Shakespearean, gets all character driven.
Yeah. There were a couple of times that I forgot that this was like a 28 Days Later movie, and it was more of a like, I don't know, a little bit of like, Last House on the Left, a little bit of like, like shit. And I know that that's definitely in the other movies too, but it was a lot of like, horrible people doing horrible things. It's not just about zombies or infected people.
It's a theism movie.
Yeah. It's really cool. There's essentially an Iron Maiden music video 3/4 of the way through it, and it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So Ryan teed up a bunch of us going to the movies to see this, and then Ryan had to bail last second.
Yeah.
He had bought tickets, and we didn't know until we got there. He got like the 4D tickets. The chairs moving.
Oh, okay.
And they spray you in the face with water.
and they spray smells in the room.
Wow.
Great.
Jesus.
And they punch you in the ass. Can I say that?
Yeah.
They punch you in the ass with things.
It's like a Universal Studios, right?
And,
basically.
Sounds like something out of Jackass.
Somebody gets stabbed in the back in the movie, and then everyone's chair in the movie theater had like something stabbing them in the back.
Yeah. Very unsettling.
It's like the Tangler. Do you know the Tangler? The Tangler, the old 60s movie where they did that with the seats. It was like a Vincent Price movie.
I saw the Tingler once at the Brattle Theater, and they did that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They make the seats buzz.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Corey, tell them what happened to the 4 guys in front of us.
So I don't know how long this technology has been out. We went to the Showcase Theater in Randolph, Massachusetts, and our seats, there was a lot of movement, but it seemed like it was choreographed and coordinated. There were a couple of times that the set of seats in front of us would just shake and spaz out. Like it was as if they were like, they'd drop a few inches.
Yeah.
In complete silence.
No provocation.
Movie. No, like there was nothing going on. It was almost like it was like a jump scare just for them. It'd be like, it was like Ralph Fiennes and the guy playing Samsung just having like a solemn, like very quiet moment, and all of a sudden you just hear ka-gonk, and like these chairs would just like shake.
It was, those are $25 tickets.
Yeah.
And those guys they could have gotten up and moved.
They could have.
They just, but I don't know.
They could have.
I wonder if it's like that they saw a movie no one else saw, right? Like that is their unique artisanal experience of
Maybe
seeing
they're
Bone
just
Temple.
adjusting their chairs. Or something.
maybe.
There was one part of the movie where someone gets bit, spoilers, by a zombie.
Yeah.
And like blood sprays, and literally the chairs sprayed us with water.
Oh yeah.
I'd be mad.
It only happened one time, but it was.
I looked over and my girlfriend Elise, wearing glasses, had water all over her glasses, and I look at her and I like kind of mouth sorry, and she just goes, "It's okay." And, like, wipes her face off.
Great movie.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a 5-star movie right there.
yeah. But that's my media current. So
Hey, nice.
yeah, highly recommend.
I've been nothing too much. I think I watched all but maybe the last episode of Heated Rivalry, which is really good.
It's a
Hockey, gay romance.
Yeah.
It's set, or at least it starts like 2008 or something. There's still no, in real life, there's still no out gay hockey players. So, but like 10 years or 10, 15 years ago, like you can.
Well, in that league.
I was going to say, we went to PWHL, and it is a complete
NFL, excuse me, the NFL, which is there are
NHL.
Yeah.
NHL, sorry. It's all the same shit to me. NFL either.
There's a gay raider, or there was a gay raider,
Right. Yes.
a few years ago.
But it's like very uncommon, and
Yes.
and the show plays up how impossible it is for them to like live that life, and basically it's just about people having secret relationships that really want to be proper romances, proper like monogamous maybe, but like it's just sad. It's like so sad watching people in that situation.
Is it a finite show, like one season miniseries kind of thing?
No, I think they're doing another season because it was a success.
It's huge.
It's a huge hit.
Yeah. Good for them. Also watched the original Bill and Ted with my daughter,
Nice.
which has one gay slur in it, and I coughed during.
It's amazing you remembered where it was coming.
I knew it. I mean,
It hits like a dead mic thud.
I'm a little. I go either way on it because it is kind of funny the way it happens in the movie because they. Spoilers for Bill and Ted, but there's a scene where Bill thinks Ted is dead. He finds out Ted is alive. They hug. And then they back off and call each other the F word at the same time. And then immediately like smile and like hug again. So it's kind of cute. Like it's almost kind of cute because they're like, they clearly do love each other.
Yeah.
And they have a moment of like 80s homophobia, but they get over it. Like,
They really-
but she wants to watch the second one now. And that movie's even worse with that word.
But it's a much better movie, in my opinion. I've always been a Bill and Ted 2 guy.
Yeah.
It's more of a kid's movie for
Well,
sure.
it's a movie up your alley, I would think.
It's
It's
crazy.
like you got to make the money with Bill and Ted, so you can make Bill and Ted.
Well, Alex Winter is like one of my all-time
Yeah,
favorites.
exactly.
And their chemistry is so funny.
They clearly like each other.
Yeah.
Like they met during casting, and
Darcy liked it so much that she noticed like, oh, there's a cartoon. Like it popped up a recommendation
geez.
for the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
They voiced the cartoon.
Yeah, it's really their voices, at least the first
George
season.
Carlin,
George
too.
Carlin as well. And it's an okay, kind of funny cartoon.
you know what you should do? You know, YouTube has movies on it,
Free and otherwise.
but you might be able to find like a TV edit of Bill and Ted 2. If you're, because I think they dropped 2 F-bombs in the second one. I don't remember specifics. But
I know at the end of the movie there's like a remix song in the end credits where they
Yeah.
that's part of like the remix song.
then just turn it. Honestly, I think the second one's better, kids. If she, cause,
Probably. I
yeah.
mean, it's the second one is. It definitely feels more of
fantastic.
It's more fantastic.
There's
It's a
monsters and
little more-
aliens.
robots, yeah.
They meet the devil and
Yeah.
angels and God. And
Also, just like the humor feels a little more like in the SNL zone.
Yeah.
well, Alex Winter and the Idiot Box guys, I think, had more
Yeah.
influence on the second one.
Yeah, he had directed a bunch of stuff by then.
Like I think Stern, the freaked people.
yeah, freak.
Those guys are the
Show
rarest of
Darcy
things.
freaked.
They're actually funny. Like I watched all of Idiot Box like a couple weeks ago, so I'm primed for Alex Winter stuff.
Yeah, that's my. Actually, one more thing. I watched Men in Black with Darcy as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Another good buddy comedy.
Did you say who Darcy is?
My daughter.
Okay.
She's 7 now. So I'm starting to dip my toes into like, this is PG-13-ish.
You got to rip that Band-Aid off eventually if you want to show them anything.
Yeah, and also just like more live action stuff is
Yeah.
always good for her brain, I imagine. And in both cases, she was kind of like half paying attention. Then halfway through the movie, she kind of like locks into the movie, sits next to me, and looks over and says like, "Hey, you know what, Dad? This is actually good."
Yeah.
You aren't a loser after all.
Space Ice Agents. The plot of the movie.
They got it. They have to.
There-
That is the elevator pitch of Men in Black.
The Men in Black 1, the 2 is worse, but Men in Black 1, it's a little more of a Casablanca thing. Like, this is a safe haven for
Yes.
Yeah.
For
Wayward men.
yeah. And they're more there just to like make sure everyone is behaving well.
Sure,
like
sure.
Yeah.
No, I like Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black's fun.
Yeah.
But that movie is like, you can see why the sequel. I like the third one, but the second one. Speaking of Johnny Knoxville,
I was gonna say that's
the second one is such shit. But like the tone of the first one is like, if they went a little bit wackier, it would also like plummet in quality. Like,
I think Men in Black 2 stinks.
except for the theme song.
Is that the one with Johnny Knoxville?
That's
Yeah.
And Laura Finn Boyle, and they
Yeah.
cut the ending out because both Sony was making Men in Black 2 and Spider-Man the movie at the exact same time to come out the same summer, and they both had the Twin Towers.
They got 9/11.
They both got 9/11 omissions in the edit at the 11th hour, and they couldn't afford to
Tertiary
fix both.
casualties of 9/11 were those.
Yeah.
Anyway, Anthony, you're up next.
Oh, very good. For Christmas, I took my wife to go see John Waters perform, and he does sort of a spoken word, very crude,
Oh, hell yeah.
sort of like long-term poem that he has a Q&A. So we decided, because my wife's a bigger John Waters fan than I am, so we decided like let's show each other like John Waters movies over break as I teach. So we got a bunch of movies. I showed her Serial Mom, which I'd watched in college without realizing who John Waters was. That was the first one I actually watched, and she was a fan of it, and she was like, "Look, I got you Pink Flamingos, but you don't have to watch it." And I should have taken that as my wife being like, "Don't." And I was like, no, I want to watch it because it's like it's so famous. It's preserved. It's literally in the Library of Congress, which after watching it, I can't believe. But it's so important as a movie. It introduces the world to divine pretty much and all this stuff. It was I don't know if I'm better for having watched it, but I've certainly changed.
On a hard to watch level, how does it compare to a Jackass movie?
Much harder, much harder to watch than Jackass movie. It's a combination of one. I mean, like, when I went to school with Kevin, we were in film school. The awkward pauses, the sort of running of film that all the kids around you don't know.
The things you take for granted from polished movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, and then it goes.
I mean, in terms
way.
of like gross out.
Sure. So I'll give. There's a scene in which I don't want to really spoil it.
That's the one where Divine eats.
There's
right?
she eats. Yeah, he eats dog feces at the end, and it's like legitimate, and that they have John Waters over the movie go like, this scene actually happened. Like he's yelling in like blowing out a mic. Yeah, like this is actually happening right now.
Is that from like early 80s?
70s, I think.
70s? So it's before Crybaby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, this is like one of his first ones.
I've seen it, but I forget when it. I haven't seen it in like 20 years.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll ever forget it. There's a mark on it. It says, and there's light bestiality, and I didn't know what that meant. Now I do know what that means. So, like I said, I don't know.
Once again, arguably Jackass as well. Like
I think Crybaby, because it's so concentrated too. I'm sorry, Pink Flamingos. It's so concentrated too that like I could sit through a Jackass movie.
1972, by the way.
1972.
Wow.
Yeah, it's early, and it is
Right out of the 60s, basically.
That's crazy.
It's probably the filthiest movie you could watch because all you could do after that is just copy it and add something else to it.
John
Right.
Waters being a Cassavetes contemporary, like that's crazy to remember.
Yeah.
I grew up with his more family-friendly movies,
One would hope.
which is Crybaby but especially Hairspray.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hairspray's great.
Hairspray so good. So is Crybaby too. It blows my mind to know like that's what that guy was known for before making those movies that are arguably like almost kid movies.
Yeah.
Anthony, have you ever seen the Freddy's Dead, the 6th Freddy Krueger movie?
No.
It's kind of a John Waters fan film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Rachel Talalay.
You so want to like rehabilitate this Freddy
No, I do
movie.
not like this. I've tried watching it. I've watched it like 3 times in my life, and every time halfway through, I'm like, no, this does stink.
Yeah.
It was made very quickly, and the director she had worked on a bunch of the Freddy Krueger movies in some capacity before, but she was also friends with a lot of the John Waters crew.
Yeah.
So Divine was supposed to be in it, had to bail. I forget why. Did Divine pass away while they were filming?
Probably.
It? Yeah.
Early 2000s.
Oh,
Whatever. If you ever get to watch it, it is a fun watch. It is bad, but like it's got a Goo Goo Dolls song as like the theme song back when they were like doing their replacement stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fun watch. It is terrible. It feels like right out of Crybaby.
Nice.
Yeah.
oh, Johnny Depp shows up.
Of course. Yeah. Cameo. He does a drug PSA.
He does.
Yeah.
But I mean, he would have been hanging out with John Waters at that time.
No, that was totally
yeah.
when they were
Yeah.
making Crybaby. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. I got to rewatch Crybaby sometime.
Crybaby's great. John Waters is funny because, like I said, his more important contributions to it are the, female troubles and Pink Flamingos, and I think it's called. There's some Maniac movie. Like the really hard to watch stuff is why he's the Pope of Trash, as
Important.
they call him.
Yeah.
Right, but then to watch Crybaby and
That he kind of had
Then
a
you
real.
could-
He was like 10 years into that. He was just like, okay, I need a real career.
I need money.
During his like spoken word, did he like read from a book? Did he like do questions from the audience?
He did questions from the audience at the end. No, it was probably about 90 minutes of this sort of declaration, pro-filth, anti-Trump, anti-RFK, kept going after ICE agents, kept going after. I mean, it's cool because he is from Minneapolis, right? Like, and this was before like the real uprising, because we just lived through that. But like,
Yeah.
he is so ahead of things in that way. So he just kind of was like, we're having a revolution of tastelessness. Like, we are going to strip away this like cruel faux Christian thing, and we're going to bring back punk in the way that we're going to just destroy everything again. And it was very funny, but very, empowering, because, he's, in his 80s. He's he's a preserved artist. The Library of Congress has Pink Flamingos preserved. It's considered like that important.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah,
it's very inspiring just to hear him speak.
You forget that about early 70s stuff. It was like as bad or worse as it is politically right now.
Yeah.
In that time, and to make something like Pink Flamingos, which I imagine is just a big fuck all of this.
Oh my
Yes.
God, it is everything you can't, like anything that would be like make your movie pull from theaters. They just did it.
He's a creative voice that hasn't atrophied. Is that
Yeah.
a good way to put it? Is that too pretentious a way to say? There are certain artists that from the 70s and 80s that come up a lot in our social circle discussing like, oh, this person, their work, as I get older, I see why it was so important. Maybe I took for granted why this song or this movie came out 40, 50 years ago. And Waters is certainly one of those people.
He's not just Homer's gay friend.
Yeah. God, what a good episode.
But he's also Homer's gay friend.
yeah. He's a mo.
Yeah.
That was Media Current. That's how it's done, Anthony.
Very good.
So, funny story. I'm recording this a few days later. Neil, Anthony, Corey, and I just finished talking about John Waters on the podcast for about 10 minutes, but we forgot to mention that Waters has actually directed Johnny Knoxville in a feature film. And what's even crazier is that Waters is in Jackass 2 and Jackass 2.5. John Waters is in Jackass movies. And on top of that, John Waters is such a good friend of Knoxville's, he officiated his wedding. Oh, and Corey failed to mention during the show that he has a Ryan Dunn tattoo. It probably would have been cool to mention any of that during the show recording proper, but we didn't know. Well, let's go back to the past.
Now we're going to move on to the main meat of the show.
A show we watched 20 years ago.
Main meat.
Main meat. Jackass.
The show, the movie, the
lifestyle.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
lifestyle is not something I want a part of.
I think the movies transcended the show pretty quick, right? When I think of Jackass, like, yes, it's a TV show on a network that doesn't exist anymore, MTV. MTV was shut down. And
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Right off the bat, I know why I want to talk about it. Corey, why do you think I want to talk about Jackass?
Because you think farts are funny?
Maybe. Neil, why do you think we should talk about Jackass?
Because it's something that came out when you were a teenager.
Anthony?
It's your birthday, man. You can talk about
It's
whatever
your
you want.
birthday.
Well, the reason I want to talk about Jackass was, I want to say maybe a decade ago, I was hanging out with Anthony. I don't remember what we were doing. Jackass came up, and it was right around the time I started romanticizing Jackass and realizing, no, I actually think this was an important piece of art. And Anthony said, the thing about Jackass that makes it important is that we want it to be important.
Yeah.
And that saying has stuck with me for 10 years. And ever since, I've thought, I got to get Anthony to do a talk show or a podcast about Jackass. So that's why you're here.
Very good.
Jackass started before YouTube, I think in 2000 or 2001. They made
The show itself, yeah.
They
2000,
made
yeah.
3 blocks of 8 episodes of the show. 3 episodes got banned due to, I think they didn't get like permits to film in certain spaces and stuff. And then quickly became a television show. Then quickly became a film series. I think the first movie came out in 2002, maybe
Yeah,
2001.
I was in high school. So
Yeah. And they just announced in the last week or so that they're putting out a 5th movie, unless you count Bad Grandpa, a 6th Jackass movie in the Oscar-nominated film series.
Wow.
There was an Oscar nomination.
What was the Oscar?
Best makeup for Bad Grandpa.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad Grandpa got the award. That was the one they had to sell it to the Academy so they could
That
call
wasn't
it.
a real old man in that movie?
That was Johnny Knoxville. Spike Jonze was supposed to be in more of that movie. He's in that movie a little bit in the bookends, I believe.
Because he was the original old makeup.
Well,
He was the old lady, right?
he was the wife, and it was the Johnny Knoxville and Jones play a husband and wife in Bad Grandpa. And there was, I don't know if they've ever come out and say it, but I think that was the year. What did Spike Jonze do before Her? What was
Before Her, Where the Wild Things Are?
maybe
That makes sense.
he was doing something at the time, and I think there was some concern like, so we're gonna put me in like old lady makeup and get naked again while I'm putting out like a bit more of a mainstream thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be putting words in his mouth there. A great thing about the culture of Jackass is that there are ample interviews and podcasts and behind the scenes videos out there on YouTube now. What's everyone's familiarity with Jackass?
Well,
We're all
should we
about the same
explain
age.
what Jackass is for anyone who's just like curious and listening to this?
Yeah, so we're Anthony, I think, is the oldest in the room.
Yeah, I'm 40. So
We're all basically 39, 40 years old.
Yeah.
yeah.
Jackass popped up on television when we were 14, 13.
13, 14,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what is the elevator pitch? Sketch comedy show? Hidden camera?
I feel like it's like an umbrella of a bunch of different stuff that all kind of it just fits together. It all scratches the same, I guess, voyeur itch of you want to see something go wrong. You want to see someone get hurt. You want to see someone get embarrassed. You want to see
Raw.
something raw and something that you're not supposed to do. Something that is transgressive.
And
one way
before
or another.
the ubiquity of internet video, everything you saw on television was polished. If you turn on like your average television show right now, there's more verite in television and movies now than there was back then. Handheld stuff wasn't super common at the time. Jackass is the comedy arm of that guerrilla lo-fi vibe that was hitting around the time of 28 Days Later and the Blair Witch Project. This is before Cloverfield.
There's technological advances in cameras kind of gave
Shrinking
birth.
things down.
Yeah, made this stuff possible.
Cops was probably the only television show in that same vein around that, or World's Wildest Police Chases, maybe.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
all the news footage collection shows.
It's another thing that is just like YouTube is half that now, you know?
There's a lot of that in the world now. You know, people when they watch shows on Netflix are usually browsing videos on their phone, and they're watching things that were shot in an amateur style. Jackass was probably the first mainstream amateur feeling piece of entertainment most people. I mean, I'm trying to think of something from like the 80s, like the America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of an
There's
America's
that.
Funniest Home Videos vibe to it.
Like the Jerky Boys, I guess, but that was radio.
Yeah,
More
but
than-
it's in the
yeah.
same ballpark, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a show that has pranks on both the public, but mostly on people in the crew, pranking each other. And doing stunts. It's
Inventive,
like evil Knievel stuff, but more
Chuck Jones.
Yeah.
For real. Like
more stuff that is designed to go wrong, to result in some sort of catastrophe.
stuff that if an expert was doing it, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like they're not professional stuntmen, but they are extraordinarily
Talented.
hardy people. Like
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
Well-
there's different types of talent.
Yeah.
Like Steve-O. Well, let's go. We can go through the roster.
Okay.
Sure.
So basically, it's like a clown car of athletic men, creative
or
men.
people who are just
Yeah.
very different body types, like Wee Man, or like
He's a great skateboarder.
that's true.
Yeah. They basically get together and they come up with these cockamamie 5-minute slices of comedy, and they shoot it with mixed cameras, probably whatever was cutting edge at the time or cheap at the time. When they made Jackass in the original pilot, the original MTV days, They were shopping it around to various networks. SNL tried to poach the show before it went to MTV. They offered Johnny Knoxville and them
SNL?
SNL was going to air Jackass as like a segment every week.
Wow, interesting.
They had to decide at that point. Jeff Tremaine, who's sort of like the creative head of Jackass, he's like the one that came up with like the identity, the look. He, Spike Jonze, and Johnny Knoxville were like the brain trust that made Jackass happen. They had to decide, like, do we go to SNL and get probably a bigger national audience, but maybe they only air it one time?
Yeah.
Or do we go to MTV and we get kind of a guaranteed order of 8 episodes? Even if it doesn't work, they'll still air it a few more times.
Yeah.
And they decided to go the MTV route because of they get together, they come up with gags. As Neil said, some of it's like hidden camera stuff, like Trigger Happy TV, if anyone even knows what that is
I remember
anymore.
that, yeah.
Yeah, that was Comedy Central trying to get on the Jackass train. Our familiarity with it, I mean, I watched a lot of it when it was on.
Yeah. Same.
Neil, did you watch any of
I
it?
avoided it like the plague. It was really not my thing. It was kind of like, I had like a very old man mentality about that sort of stuff when I was a kid, and I think like stuff like that made me feel like a weirdo for not, like, this is not how I would be with my friends. What's wrong with me,
20 years later, me, Ryan, and the other guys like subjecting you to doing stupid stuff on camera. Has it thawed your heart?
No, but watching it now, I see the humor of it, and it's like they're obviously not role models. They shouldn't be role models. They were for a lot of people, unfortunately, but a lot of people are stupid. So
I had a Johnny Knoxville poster in my bedroom growing up.
but you weren't trying. I mean, you weren't trying to do.
Oh, I did.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't. Yeah. Were you? Who was a skater? Or
Yeah, Corey's probably.
So for me, Jackass is like an interesting thing because like the show, because a lot of it came from CKY, which was from the 90s, and even CKY is all of those skits. A lot of that stuff came from skate videos.
Neil, do you know what CKY is?
I think so. Yeah.
Can't Kill Yourself.
Greatest band name of all time.
Yeah.
But CKY, was it like just a lot of skaters doing?
It was
skate
basically
videos,
CKY was a bunch of skateboarders were making skate tapes. They were young. They were very young. They were like 17, right? And they realized, what if we made a skate tape, but we take out the skateboarding and we just do all the interstitial funny stuff that we were doing in our skate tapes and make that the whole thing. And they would sell it at like skateboard shops.
Right.
It blew up. CKY and the underground stuff that Knoxville, Jeff Tremaine, there was a magazine called Big Brother Magazine.
Yeah.
They were also making video tapes at the time, and the tapes were called things like Crap, like things like that. But it was very similar. Like you just put on a tape. Teenagers were buying them clearly ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Were these like mail order tapes?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They'd,
back in the day.
they'd sell them at skate shops. They'd
Okay,
sell
yeah.
them at like surf shops.
Or
They'd
Not a
sell them.
blockbuster necessarily.
Produced
No.
by Larry Flynn, if I'm right.
Larry Flint bought the magazine Big
Yeah.
Brother at one point.
Larry Flint, for those who don't know, he was Penthouse.
An American pornographer.
Yeah, he was a pornographer, and he was I don't know.
He's
There's a
very-
movie about it.
He's very important in the end. The amount of censorship and the amount of satire he fought for
Yeah.
in the
that was-
Supreme Court is like, you're allowed to do a lot of what you could do today because of him.
The 90s were a very censorship. I know,
Yeah.
like
Actual censorship.
actual
Yeah,
censorship.
government censorship.
Yeah, like overstepping and just for like political points, like like that kind of thing where like this is bad for the children. This is like that's where that whole
Larry Flint is Hugh Hefner without the pretense.
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner pretended he was classy and didn't really do a lot for anybody.
Larry Flint actually tried. He had a purpose. He had a cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this stuff, like it makes so much sense now to realize like, oh, this comes from not pro sporters, but like underground.
It was
skating and people who are
Yeah.
used to getting hurt and know how to get hurt on camera.
Well, to get back to CKY, where you were going, Corey,
It was a huge time for like backyard wrestling too. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the same kind
Yeah.
of.
Tony Hawk, king of the skateboarders,
Yeah.
right? He was skateboarding in the early 80s when he was
Yeah.
very young.
Yeah.
And skateboarding was kind of waning before his video game blew up, frankly.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk was doing so bad with money at one point, he just became a full-time video editor. He like bought a PC at home and built a video editing rig that he could like ostensibly print VHS tapes at home. And like he was editing other skateboarders' tapes. Experimental video editing owes a lot to skater culture.
Yeah.
Like skate tapes are freaking cool. If you're a video
Yeah.
pro in any capacity, watching early Jackass, watching all the stuff that they were doing, there is value there. There is academic merit to watching, like, wow, they were trying things that no one else could.
The amount of people who like bought a camera and got into it because of skating.
Yeah, VX1000s, man.
It's such an interesting like side effect of
Yeah. But is that where were you going with like CKY?
Oh, I was going with how, 80s into the 90s, there were lots of skate videos that were being hand distributed and sold at skate shops, and they would have goofy skits in them sometimes.
Yes.
And that eventually evolved into CKY that still had lots of amazing skating in it, but it was primarily the goofy skits.
Yeah.
And then late 90s, like 2000, when that morphed in, because CKY is a lot of the same guys that are in Jackass.
It's basically like half of maybe a third of the Jackass crew came from CKY.
So the less charismatic gentleman from Jackass.
A lot of it came from Big Brother, and then they kind of found other people. But that's
Yeah.
like where the 8 or 9 stalwart guys came.
So that's a good. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. So if you went to skate parks in like 99, 98, you would see lots of people do what now you would say, oh, that's Jackass stuff, and skating. That's people would they'd jump off ramps into the bushes, or like there was a skate park in Weymouth that there was a pond nearby, and people would jump into the pond naked and do crazy stuff and videotape it. And it was a few years later that all of a sudden, you had your parents asking you, hey, have you seen this show on MTV? You better not be doing anything like that. And it's like, we've been seeing this stuff, with the VHS that I hide under my bed that I don't want anyone to see for like 3 or 4 years now.
You used to have to go to the carnival to see this kind of thing.
Well, one time,
Like legit, like they have people getting hit in the stomach with cannonballs and stuff.
Canby Lake Park had that guy that would just walk around. Ryan told me about this back in up and through the early 90s. There was a guy that would just walk around on like a range, and you'd like shoot him with BB guns or something. Like,
oh yeah, I think you might maybe paintball or
paintball.
something.
Sorry. So Corey, you made your own Jackass.
Paintball gimp.
When I was like probably 13, 14, there's a handful of mini high 8 tapes with dumbass in Sharpie written on them
In Helvetica.
and there's me dressed up like Steve Irwin jumping off of like small rock ledges with inflatable crocodiles.
Oh man.
And like
I've
all
never seen
kinds
that
of,
one. You never showed me that one.
I don't know that I even know where that one
That's
is
the most
anymore.
Corey Tilton thing I've ever heard.
I was a big Steve Irwin
Were
guy
you
back
playing
in
like
the day.
Jurassic Park John Williams music as you did it?
Probably. And it was back in the day we'd have to have like a boombox because we didn't know how to properly.
That's how you got
how
music into videos back
Closer
then.
to the camera.
Yeah, it sucks that like none of the Jackass guys died doing Jackass, but Steve Irwin died.
I know.
Anthony, did you made your own Jackass
Oh, yeah.
stunts?
Yep.
Did you tape them?
Oh yeah, no, I had my father bought a handheld camera, and I inherited his big shoulder-mounted camera. And I lived in a very cut-off suburb in northern Massachusetts, and there were, it was no cops, no parents, big parking lots, and we would just go in there. We'd throw, I jumped off roofs. It went from pretty smoothly. We transitioned from backyard wrestling into making Jackass tapes, because like that was like what stupid thing could you do when you were unsupervised is how I spent every moment of my life until I started playing music, basically. And then so yeah, like we made all this. I was not a good skateboarder, but you could go down a steep hill on a skateboard without any skill and fall off and tape that. So I did that a few times.
You were excited by making a movie.
Yeah, it was something to do. Yeah.
You didn't have to think through narrative convention. Well, you could think through narrative. There is a narrative to these skits, but you weren't thinking of like characters and production value. You're like, well, what can we just make?
Yeah,
And there is something intoxicating about that. Hence why we're podcasting.
Yeah, no, I think too, especially, it was funny because it was actually kind of like a step back from like when you did backyard wrestling, you did interviews and you did storylines and you tried to keep continuity. And then when we went to Jackass, it was like, oh, we can just do it like this. But yeah, that was my, and that's what we would watch Jackass. My mother's plan to like get me out of the house backfired horribly. Like she was like, you got to stop just playing video games and watching TV. You need to go out. I'm like, all right. So I showed her.
I mean, you didn't have smartphones as like our pocket cameras.
No.
Like you had to like find like video gear. I tried making a Jackass tape. 2 or 3 of my friends, we took a rope and a long rope, thick gauge rope, and we would like run it through our belt loops, and we tied ourselves, our like abdomens with this rope, and the other end would be on a tree, and we'd get on a bike and we'd go as fast as we could. Like, and then you just get yanked off the bike when the rope got taut. Like that was like the tape. And we got 20 minutes out of that.
There you go.
Nice.
Never did the hidden camera stuff.
That's kind of a different, yeah.
I think that's probably what you Neil, saw, like some of the hidden camera shit. That frankly, that's what a lot of CKY is Bam Margera. Straight, I'll just get ahead of it. I mean, we're 40 minutes in, but I do not like Bam Margera. I think he's an asshole.
Notoriously, he's and it comes up in the skits that he would do, right? Like it harms the watchability of some of it.
Yeah, like we're talking about him now. We're talking about Larry Flint. Like these are not people I wouldn't call them great hangs. Some of the Jackass crew seems like a great hang. Dave England seems like a great hang. Chris Pontius seems like a great hang.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back. You were about to like introduce the cast of Jackass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm parading them now. So everyone should know who Johnny Knoxville is.
He's like the I don't know.
He's the face.
He's the face.
He says it a lot. He goes, "I'm the face."
I'm the good-looking guy.
That's true.
I remember very clearly because he had this sort of sex symbol poster of him with the taser.
That's what I had in my bedroom.
Yeah, no, like I would find. I remember like being back in high school and like finding out a girl had that, and that was like, oh, I'm gonna marry that woman.
It was like a big poster. It was like 3x2, and I had it up on my ceiling near my bed, and like a few of my friends at the time were making no homo jokes, and I'm like, he's cool. He's in like Tom Petty music videos. Like I thought he's an American icon.
He's cool, but I mean his attractiveness is kind of, I think, a big part of why the show was a success.
Did you hear what came out recently about he and Jessica Simpson had an affair when she was married to Nick Lachey?
Yeah,
like it came out recently.
Yeah,
I thought that was a known thing. They
I
did
didn't
that
know
movie
until
together,
like
right?
they did Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I'm assuming it was around that time.
Yeah, it had to have been that movie. He and Sean William Scott. Man,
I love that movie.
What a time! What a time!
What a time to be alive.
But Johnny Knoxville, the leader of Jackass.
Yeah.
he's the leader.
He's the Jason.
He and Jeff Tremaine and Spike Jonze, amazing director. They are the creative like head of that crew. Sometimes you see Jeff Tremaine and Spike Jonze pop up on camera, but the real cast of characters, I mean, you got Bam Margera, probably as prolific as Johnny Knoxville in some ways. His star has faded for sure in the last 20 years because no one wants to work with him. Then you have Steve-O. Steve-O is such a Y2K celebrity. Yeah. Like that is such a.
But do we like? Is Steve-O an okay dude?
I like Steve-O.
Yeah,
he's a bit of an attention whore, and his podcast is hard to listen to because he's constantly selling hot sauce for your butthole. That's his product. He sells Steve-O's hot sauce for your butthole.
His voice is crazy.
I love Steve. Like he's everyone like.
Yeah, and he was a kind of a carnival sideshow circus performer.
He was a P.T. Barnum clown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did like you. We were watching a clip and had him dressed as a mime.
Yeah,
and I thought like, oh, this is like the best I've seen him look. Like,
yeah,
he looks so perfect. This older Steve-O dressed as a mime.
He's a great sobriety story.
Yeah,
Anthony and I in college. One time, Anthony in college showed me a picture of Steve-O sitting on a bed in a hotel room, and it was just covered in pills and. All that kind of paraphernalia, and Steve-O looked like a rabid animal, and it was like upsetting. I had never seen him like that, and apparently, particularly in the second movie, a lot of them were like pill popping and just doing drugs, like hard drugs. And Steve-O was kind of like the worst off. It's like they used to make jokes in the movies about Steve-O's not going to make it to the next movie. They put Steve-O in like old man makeup in the first movie. They put him all in old man makeup. Because as they said in the commentary for the DVD, we want to see what Steve-O would look like as an old man.
Because he's not going to make it.
And Steve-O's like, yeah, I'm not going to make it. But he's doing well now. Steve-O, smart businessman. Steve-O,
that's good. I mean, it's another thing that needs to be said is like the harm these people did to their
bodies,
health long term.
Yes,
is like
legendary.
Well, it's just like a bummer. Like,
so Steve-O is like, again, P.T. Barnum, professional circus clown.
Yeah,
that's it. What he brings. Bam Margera brings like kind of the X Games like punk skateboarder like Tom Green knockoff energy.
Yeah, Bam was kind of in charge. He made all of those CKY stuff.
Yes, he was a video editor too. He was like there's a lot
of video editing, and there's a handful of stuff from the first season of Jackass that is
repurposed,
which is clips that Bam shot for CKY repurposed into Jackass.
There's a picture of Bam Margera in his parents' living room. He had like built a video editing setup, and it's like two big wobbly like HP CRT monitors hooked up like to like crappy old printers and stuff. And like I remember Corey showing me that picture once, and I'm like, okay, like I now appreciate Bam Margera's country, and that's what got me to watch the CKY stuff with you. Yeah, we watched all the CKYs. We watched Haggard.
Watch Haggard. I haven't made you watch Ming Hags yet.
So these are all like just like okay, so that's we're now up to Steve-O. Then we have Danger Ehren.
Yeah,
who's the guy that
snowboarder.
He's the fellow who did the cup test piece we just watched from Jackass Forever. His contribution, he's kind of like game to do anything. I mean, they all have to be game to do anything, but he and Dave England, who is I love Dave England. Dave England's my favorite guy in the group. They are the two who, when there's like kind of an inventive bit where it doesn't really require a certain improv comedy skill, when you don't have to like, they don't do as much of like the hidden camera, like you're going to have to like make this situation work for an edit later. They do more of like I don't know how to describe.
They're not the thinking man's Jackass.
They're the butt of the joke.
They come up with great ideas.
Yeah.
Like,
If someone needs to get hurt or be the butt of the joke, or like that, it's either Dave or Danger.
Dave England
or both.
Yeah, they did like urban kayaking.
Yeah,
they would do a lot of the bits where no one was the victim.
Yeah.
Like they would get hurt, but they would just be doing like funny clown shoe stuff.
They get put in the two tires and rolled down the hill.
And Jackass 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a lot of their, or like the fire hose rodeo.
Yeah.
That one's awesome. Like they're just fun. They tend to do the most like what a kid would do.
Yeah.
Like if
and they're also,
I mean, that kind of stuff is my favorite thing about Jackass. The stuff where it's like Mythbusters, but
ingenuity.
Yeah.
Building ramps
How
to like
do we
make
do this?
Yeah.
What if you did this? What would this look like? Would it be fun? How badly would you get hurt?
Yeah.
It's and again, it's not always. Sometimes it is too violent, but it's just at their expense.
Yeah.
Sure. Going through the rest of the roster, there's Ryan Dunn, who passed away maybe a decade ago.
Yeah.
Another CKY guy.
Another CKY guy. He was another just like game for anything. He was the one in that bit ass kicked by girl from the first movie.
He also had stuff put in his ass.
Yep. The hero of the first movie, really.
Yeah.
You got Wee Man, who was a pro skater that did a bunch of photo shoots for Big Brother magazine, and they brought him on because, sometimes they could make gags out of his size, which brings us to Preston Lacey, who was a trucker before Jackass.
Okay.
Like he did like freight truck driving, bigger fella. And he would often get paired with Wee Man. They would do gags that would just play off the Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, like big guy, small guy stuff.
Chris Pontius,
who's so funny, so likable, so charismatic. Chris Pontius, the one who liked getting naked the most, probably the first full frontal male nudity I saw in a feature film was Chris Pontius. He gets naked all the time to the point where like the MPAA was like going to slap an X rating on Jackass 3 because there was so much of his penis in it. Yeah. So I was telling Neil this story earlier. There's a bit, and I'll try not to do too much Jackass trivia. There's so much trivia because there's so much gorilla.
There's so much of it.
There's so much of it. In the third movie, Chris Pontius, for a joke, was completely naked. They had a super high frame rate slow motion camera aimed at him. And they were throwing like tennis balls at him in slow motion, and he would try to bat one of the balls back with his penis, right? They filmed the bit where like his like penis connects with the ball and it hits it like a softball, right? They submit the movie to the MPAA and they say there's too much penis in this movie. You can't show penis like in your movie. It's going to be X-rated. So the Jeff Tremaine asks, okay, how much can we allow in? How much do we have to cut? And they're given like a specific amount of time they have to cut. So what they did was they took that bit with Chris Pontius and they put a black sensor bar over his penis. And as Chris Pontius moves and his penis moves around the frame, the sensor bar doesn't quite keep up with his dick. And then it kind of crudely gets back in front. It feels like a really rough premiere edit. But they were like, well, we now have just enough omitted.
Yeah, you can't stop us.
We tried to censor it. We don't know how to do it. We're sorry.
It's too complicated. Chris Pontius, if you ever heard of Party Boy, that was a recurring skit he would do. He would go into like public places and like.
Did you know anyone who would do that?
Party Boy?
Party Boy?
The Party Boy?
Oh, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the party?
Oh yeah,
boy?
Party Boy is you basically.
There's a specific song you play.
Yeah, and you rip off your clothes.
You have to have rip away clothes
You
with
have
like
to have the
buttons.
rip away clothes. We didn't have those, so it was just going into Little Peach.
Yeah.
And
typically,
with the thing-
you have a Speedo on underneath.
Yeah.
or a
Wait,
thong
you
of
knew
some
someone
sort.
who would go into a convenience
Oh, we
store?
all did. We all had to take turns.
Oh yeah.
Who would do it? Do I know these people?
I did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
I
before-
didn't do
no.
it with him, but I mean separately, completely
You would do it,
separately.
yeah.
I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christ. I never did
no.
that. No, the closest I
I have
ever
no
got to
patience for that kind of stuff. Just get out of my world. You know?
Neil, Ryan, our friend TJ, and I were at a Cumberland Farms filming an episode of New Kids on the Rock once.
Yeah.
And Ryan had to like beat up TJ in a Cumberland Farms parking lot. And as we were filming it, a guy pulled up in his pickup truck and he goes, "Hey, are you making a Jackass tape?" Like, I was really interested. But I never got naked like Party Boy.
Oh, yeah.
We would do drive-throughs a lot. Someone would jump on the roof
Yeah.
of the car and you'd
No,
pull
I
in.
can see that.
Because the thing is, in the show, the joke is he starts the song and the song has this like dance like "Ns, ns, ns," and he goes, "You hear that?" to the person.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "It sounds like party music."
I want to party now.
And then he strips down and so we would do that at drive-throughs and it's South Shore, Massachusetts, small town, just bothering people.
Well, it was a perfect cocktail. You were excited about doing things on camera and getting
Yeah.
attention. You had all like the teenage boy hormones. Like, well, if I'm naked, that's kind of closer to having sex.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to seduce somebody, so I'm going to start with a mating dance and see if that
Exactly,
gets me any results.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's the American male equivalent of being in Heat was making party boy sketches.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like in the era of TikTok, there's so many annoying influencers who do this kind of public prank stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's probably other people, if we want to like just put a pin in the roster. I mean,
Yeah.
like nowadays you have like Dark Shark, you have Poopies, you have Rachel. She's a stand-up comedian. They were all in the newest Jackass movie. I assume they will be in the next movie. Is there anyone we're forgetting?
In the original show, I haven't seen them too much in the movies, but you had more of the original CKY guys. So you had like Rake Young, Rab himself, Brandon DiCamillo.
DiCamillo. He would have been a YouTube king if he embraced it.
Yeah, Brandon Novak. A few. There were a handful of other guys, all Westchester, Pennsylvania.
But that's your Jackass crew.
Yeah.
That was a wise idea, talking through them. The next thing I had on my notes here was talking about its influence. Because I feel like, I don't know about you, I didn't, maybe it was because I hit the right age, but when Logan Paul filmed a corpse in Japan and put it on his YouTube channel for ad revenue money, and Google took a little while, like a couple days to pull it down, I felt the discussion, did Jackass
Did Jackass do
Is
this?
this Jackass's fault? Jackass never filmed corpses.
No.
Jackass did go to Japan and do like dumb shit in Japan
Yeah.
that probably would piss some people off now if they watched it in the cold light
Sure.
of day.
I
But
think the main difference is Logan Paul, right? Or Jake Paul.
they're both assholes, but Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
He's not funny.
No, he's like a charisma vacuum.
No, and it would. I think the whole thing with Jackass and like the later, whether it be Bad Grandpa or the not the Party Boys, the Wild Boys,
Wild Boys.
is they were the brunt of the joke.
Yeah.
like they were doing things to themselves. They
99%. Like,
yeah. I mean, the joke might be like someone else has to watch me fall down a flight of stairs, but it was never making someone else fall down a flight of stairs. It was never.
Early in the days of Jackass, there was more of that. I'd say in the first Jackass movie, there was more like hidden camera, Eric Andre stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like being a nuisance.
Yeah. I've never been a big fan of like making fun of strangers going about their day. Everyone has enough stress in their life. Yeah. Why you got to clown on them? Like I've never liked that style of sketch comedy. As Jackass went on, maybe this is just a perception bias thing. I noticed as the movies went on, Tremaine and Knoxville and the guys would make fun of Margera more and more because he was kind of the king of it.
Yeah.
That second Jackass movie, fans of Jackass will tell you, oh, that half of that movie is them making fun of Bam, bullying Bam. It might have been a Spike Jonze note. People kind of have picked up that he's an ass. Can you like literally just make fun of this guy? Because I don't know if it was the first movie or the show, but this is the kind of stuff Bam would cook up. He took a dead skunk, a corpse, not a pelt, like a corpse of an animal, put it on a remote controlled car and would just drive around like LA during the day, like bumping people on their ankles at red lights and like when they were sitting at crosswalks and stuff. But in the edit, after he's doing that for a bit, a stranger walks up to Bam. He's like a 50-year-old man and he just gives him shit. He like kind of gets on top of it. He doesn't like flip out or lose his temper. but he just goes, "This is what you guys do for fun, huh?
Yeah.
You just like bother women in the street with like dead animals." And Bam like doesn't have the improv skills to like roll with it.
Yeah.
And the guy starts going, I mean, I could tell why you do it. You're very excited. You have like a little hard on right now. It's very cute. And they left that in the edit. Like, so I think Tremaine and those guys always knew you have to kind of make yourself the nail and not always the hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have
Definitely.
to, and I do feel they still do hidden camera stuff in the newest movie. And I assume they'll do it again, but it is more, it's less physically bullying people.
Yeah.
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 I think too, one of the more obnoxious things about the modern thing is how much exposure it has. I think there was a thing of like,
Jackass was contained.
Jackass is contained to MTV. You had to sit down. You had to watch it. Your parents heard about it on the news because somebody jumped off a roof and broke their ankle. But ultimately speaking, you had to make the effort to see it. If you didn't want to see it, you didn't have to, right? Neil was talking about like he's avoided it for as long as he did when it was on.
Now that I'm mature enough to
Now,
handle it. Yeah.
well, now you can't escape it.
Now that you've been vaccinated, you can watch
Now
Jackass.
you can watch it.
Now it's more like,
But-
well, Kevin makes me watch it all the time. I thought it was free. But
You
it's
laugh
really-
every time.
No, it's hilarious. There's really funny stuff. There's also a lot of stuff on that I cannot watch. I have to look away.
Yeah.
I mean, you tend to show me the clips that are not like that, but there was like Steve-O putting a fish hook through his cheek.
Yeah.
All the
To go fishing.
it's funny, but it's like I cannot watch that. It's so
the more life you live and the
Yeah.
more experience you have, the more your empathy gland grows.
Yeah.
And it's harder for me to watch people get, like when we watched Butterbean knock out Knoxville earlier, it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Butterbean's like a giant.
He was a novelty boxer, basically. Like he was this extremely large man, and he was never a serious contender, but he would do like gimmick matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was his thing. He hit like a truck, so people would just
Yeah.
get knocked out real quick.
We've done a lot of like table setting. We've like done a bit of reminiscing. As far as its influence, I feel like the modern day viral video, like whether it's TikToks or YouTube shorts or Instagram stuff or whatever, I feel like that was an inevitability. I don't know if you could really look at Jackass and be like, this is your fault. I wish we had Lindsay here. Lindsay and I have like waxed poetic about this, Neil, just about like teenagers suck.
oh sure, yeah.
Yeah, like you give them a camera and you give them the ability to get attention. They're gonna, this was always going to happen once the advent of the smartphone.
They
and
just have more access to the camera now.
I don't
Well,
think it's fair to blame Jackass.
No, yeah. I think Jackass actually did a really good job of threading the needle of 14-year-olds are going to watch this. We want to be as shocking as possible within that like construct. Like clearly I'm like showing dicks to people that young isn't legal. But stuff like Jackass where it's like stunts and comedy and kind of gross out stuff, like that is stuff that certain teenagers will want to watch for laughs. And knowing that would happen, I feel like they did put a lot of thought into designing their gags around basically something being as something socially acceptable, but still pushing the envelope to make, that's the whole point. You want to watch Jackass to see people getting away with as much as they can.
Yeah, and I also think
breaking the law.
Another part of the appeal beyond that, like the taboo, and I mean, I was going to talk about that. We don't really need to get into it. But I do think like the aesthetic of Jackass is charming, like the guerrilla editing, like the music. There's some great music in Jackass. Like the way that music video editing and skate tape editing influence, like that. It is like cool to see that stuff shepherded and out there still. Like when I watch a Jackass movie, I'm getting a taste of Y2K era skate tape still. And I like that being mainstream. So we don't really need to get much more into like the gear. Like when we were watching clips earlier, I noticed like a specific macro lens that Laua makes being used for the bit where Rachel was getting the Botox from the scorpion in her lips.
Yeah.
I as like a camera porn person, I love that part of Jackass. Like I love like the mixed media, like, oh wow, this was shot with a fisheye lens and now we're cutting to like a film.
It's funny, watching the difference in quality within the films, but also from film to film.
From shot to shot sometimes.
I'm guessing a lot of the show was all like, what is it? The skates,
the VX1000.
The Panasonic.
Well, that was Sony. Panasonic, you probably were right before the DVX. There definitely were DVXs on that set though, especially for the first movie. The we keep talking about teenage boys. I think there have been numerous times in my life I've seen grown ass adults watching Jackass and howling.
Yeah.
I think people don't want to admit
What do you
that.
mean?
So Corey and I went and saw Jackass Forever opening night at the local theater with Ryan and Craig, right? It was the four of us.
Yeah.
And we sit down. The theater was packed right after lockdown had
And I had a broken leg from skating.
Yep. You had busted your leg at a skate park. So we look like the target demo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Packed house. We sit down, and a husband and wife sat down next to us. They were probably about 50, right? The wife is sitting shoulder to shoulder with me. Start watching the movie, and they're losing it the whole movie, to the point where during one bit, I think it was the Steve-O getting covered with a hive of bees bit. I think it was that. This woman started like cry laughing, like sweating laughing. And she like grabbed me. Like she put her one arm behind my back and the other arm on my leg. And she was just pissing herself laughing. And she apologized afterwards, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, that's fine. It was like one of the best moments I've ever had in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Like I've seen comedies in movie theaters where everyone's laughing, but this was like on another level. She was getting so embarrassed by how much they were laughing. They got up close to an hour in and left. She and her husband said, you guys have a great time. I can't do any more of this. Like, I don't know if there was like a shame involved. There is something universal about the whole cocktail, I think, of Jackass. Like,
Laughter can be other emotions being like disgust can transmute into laughter. I think they play on that a lot.
yes, there is a heartwarming component. And if you watch any of the movies all the way through, Neil, especially 3 or 4, they know that these movies feel a bit like home movies.
Yeah.
There is like a warm and fuzzy
Friendship.
brotherly love
Yeah.
component of it.
Again, Spike Jones being in, when I found out that Spike Jones like
He's
helped
intimately
make-
involved. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it adding a air of legitimacy to Jackass.
Oh, sure.
When I was
The bouquet of Spike Jones adds
Well,
something.
yeah, I mean, I was a huge fan of his movies back in the day. Adaptation, his music videos were amazing. Those were kind of my intro to short creative filmmaking.
We all had the DVD set.
We all did. I think we've talked about how influential like that, the Michelle Gondry DVD.
The Gondry
Yeah,
one, the
the
Chris,
Chris Cunningham one.
Yep.
Those were the 3. And then there was a bunch of other guys, but those were like the 3 best ones.
Yeah, we all like owned one of them and would like borrow them off each other.
Hell yeah.
If you like Spike Jones, you should look up his old skateboard photography.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's done some really cool stuff for Big Brother magazine. Like he's cool.
I'm sure there's a good YouTube playlist of all his music videos. He did, what's the one with the guys on fire that Beavis and Butthead love?
California.
Southern California.
Yeah, it's the song is completely forgotten at this point, but the video is so iconic.
It's a great song, but it's
Yeah.
like a 2-minute song.
it's a perfect video.
Yeah,
Single shot.
That is like, that has a little bit of Jackass DNA because
Sure.
it is just a stunt man on fire running perfectly captured. Or like the Far Side video he did that's all backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like these are all like conceptual things that just have people accomplishing something that you wouldn't normally do on camera that is technically what they're doing in Jackass. There's a lot more of a chaotic outcomes with Jackass, which are intentional. They want mistakes to be captured.
Well, I was getting at this earlier. We were talking about, I brought up Tony Hawk as Tony Hawk has shown up on Jackass a few times. And sometimes when they would build these like, jumps like or stunt platforms that are doomed to fail, they're safe in terms of construction, but unsafe in terms of execution unless Tony Hawk does it. They'd bring in like Tony Hawk and Matt Hoffman as like pinch hitters to show like, yes,
This is how it's supposed to look.
This is how it's supposed to look. Now let's have Steve-O do it. And like you cut to Steve-O wearing like, like basically like knee pad, like all
Have an expendable person do it.
But I think that's also part of the what is nostalgic about it is you can watch Tony Hawk and you can watch these professional skateboarders and you're never going to sniff them, but you could do like the most talented person on Jackass
And now you don't
is
have
someone you could do.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it too. Is like these men have become famous as basically an evolution of what, like Corey was saying, and I was saying, it was like, this. It didn't evolve much more than getting more expensive cameras and getting.
It's a little
better
easier to
editing.
watch now too, because they all did survive.
They did survive. Yeah,
They lived. God, it's like
well,
even-
Knoxville almost bought the farm more than once making
It's
these
a
movies.
bummer. I was listening to the podcast that you sent me
With
where
Neil Brennan.
he talks about having concussions and like legitimately having emotional problems now because of the brain injuries.
Well,
he's
Johnny
had.
Knoxville put himself in front of bulls, like
The bull stuff.
It's like a running thing with him. He likes doing like running with bulls and
It
like
bothers me. It's
But
like
he's been like
don't do
really
that.
kicked.
He has children. Don't do it.
No, he's yeah.
That stuff I think is kind of objectionable. There's a lot of stuff he was doing as a father.
He's owned it. He's owned I
Yeah.
mean that in particular. He has been very outspoken since that most recent movie.
Yeah.
he's done. He brings it up in every interview. He's like, no, you don't do that.
A bunch of the animal stuff is hard to watch for me too because I am worried about the animals getting hurt.
Usually the animals are fine.
I'm
Usually
sure
it's
they
the other way
are.
That
around.
poor anaconda.
I mean, it's like I don't know how anacondas work. Are they hurting the anaconda?
There was that bit where
I've seen a movie about anacondas.
that bit earlier where Steve-O is like, Chris Pontius takes a big fish hook and he sticks it through Steve-O's cheek.
Yeah.
And then Steve-O jumps in the ocean and the fish hook's hooked up to a string. So Chris Pontius is like fishing with Steve-O for
And then you
sharks.
see a shark go like winging by.
Yeah.
A hammerhead
It's not
shark
the
comes
blood.
up and Steve-O kicks it. Did you feel worse for the shark or Steve-O?
I stopped watching after he put the hook through his face.
That's fair.
While I'm talking about Steve-O and Chris Pontius, we should get this in before we do some questions from patrons. The homoeroticism of Jackass, I think, is interesting.
Sure.
So Jeff Tremaine, he always wanted to make a nature show. He loves nature documentaries. And you can see that, I think, in Jackass. He likes observational filmmaking. It works great with observational humor. It's a type of humor. After Jackass was wrapped as a television show, there was a few reasons that the show had to end. One was the cast felt they were being too creatively constrained by Paramount. And also, they knew they weren't getting paid well.
Yeah.
They really weren't getting paid well. They're getting paid like hundreds of dollars an episode each, which is, that show is one of the most popular things to come out of cable television. Why was Steve-O only getting like $200, $300? It doesn't make any sense. The movies, they got paid handsomely.
That is circus money, you know?
Yeah. That's
back
freak
to
show
circus.
money.
Yeah.
Jeff Tremaine, after Jackass,
They let me sleep in the elephant cage.
he was asked, like, what do you want to make as a sequel to Jackass while you're doing the movies? Like, we should make another show. What would you make? And he said, I want to make a nature travelogue show where Chris Pontius and Steve-O go around the world
With Manny.
with Manny, their wildlife expert. Oh, yeah, Manny's a recurring guy on Jackass. He's their wildlife alligator wrestling expert.
Yeah.
Very chill. He has Corey energy for sure. They would go around the world and like talk to the camera like Jacques Cousteau about like, here's like a freshwater crocodile and it's mating season. And like they would do like some Jackassy stuff, but it was mainly like Steve-O and Chris Pontius in G-strings, like walking around like
There's a little bit of Steve Irwin.
a little bit of Steve-O.
Yeah.
A little bit of what is it, that freshwater monsters show guy where he goes around
River
and tries-
Monsters.
River
River
Monsters.
That's a
yeah.
cool show.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool to see Jeff Tremaine just get to do whatever. He just
Yeah.
and like let his freak flag fly. Like, no, I want to like do like a nature show. You always see that in Jackass too. Like not just the bits with animals, but like the verite style. And Wild Boys is apparently a bit of a queer icon show because again, late 90s, early aughts, being like, I brought this up before in our podcast, but I have this perception that maybe it's completely wrong that homophobia got worse.
I think so too.
I think it got
I
worse
think,
around
like,
2002. The Bush era.
Yeah, it was the Bush era. Things
Yeah.
were. Yeah, it was worse back then, and it was kind of at its peak.
During
And-
Jackass,
yeah,
maybe?
yeah, and I think Jackass kind of represents that
Live
like,
and Let Live.
live and let live, but also it's like that middle ground of it's the butt of the joke, literally, and it's like haha.
There's a rim shot.
Yeah, it's haha the male body, haha gay, but also that is kind of a symptom of like thawing.
It had to happen.
It has to happen. If you can laugh at it today, maybe tomorrow you can accept it a little more. And I think that is like the conservatives had a problem with it for the same reason they had a problem with like more straightforward pro-gay stuff.
Yes.
What I'll say too is if you compare it to its sort of contemporary thing, which is like professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is a lot of male bodies, but professional wrestling was in that era cognizant of that. So they would have these absolutely gorgeous women
Like
come out
Sable
in the
and stuff.
skimpiest outfits you can. Jackass doesn't interrupt its male nudity with any women's bodies. Like women's bodies
very
are
briefly,
not,
they would have like a nurse on set, but she's not dressed like Steve-O.
No, it was not to distract you from the fact like you had to face like
Yeah.
Chris Pontius, you had to face John Knoxville. Like there was no interruption. I think that is
They didn't overcompensate for it.
Yes.
yeah.
And
That
they've talked about, they've reflected on like,
Yeah.
no,
Wrestling-
we just thought, yeah.
Wrestling
Yeah.
extremely overcompensated
yes,
for it.
everything about wrestling is like has to fight against its own. Like the fact
Superhero movies do it a lot
Yeah,
still.
superhero movies
Like
have
there's
to do
always the
it.
not gay character. Like just so you know, like Iron Man fucks. Like what does that have
think
to do with the story?
Jackass-
Nothing.
I think Jackass did have a lot of that like skateboarding and also like very like punk rock counterculture where like that sort of thing is much more accepted and much more like kind of like fuck you, you have a problem with it, I'm just going to do it more.
It was
Like,
punk to
look
be
at what I'm
exploratory in
doing.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure you're familiar like playing in bands. I knew lots of guys playing in bands that were very much in that vibe of like oh yeah, we're all gonna like get naked in the back of the van because it's like kind of funny and like fuck you if you have a problem with it.
Are you talking
Like,
about Dan? Not Dan Hamilton, a different Dan we know.
Dan
Don't say his name.
oh sorry.
well, it's
Dennis like all these guys whose name I'll bleep. I mean,
Dan I've seen the guys from Fairview's cocks more than I've seen any other like my own.
Fairview's Cox. Oh, I thought they broke up.
Yeah.
there's something punk about like it was uncommon. It was like a standout ingredient. People who know Jackass know what Steve-O's Speedo looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wore a very specific Speedo.
Yeah, it was very, this is fine, this is cool. If you think this is weird, then you're the one with the problem.
Yeah.
And I think too, I mean, so much of punk especially comes out of a queer scene, even unknown, right? The Sex Pistols form in a sex shop.
Yeah.
And like and they have an extremely openly gay manager, and like all of that leather and tight jeans and rip stuff is queer look, is a 1960s gay man's look.
Yeah.
And so you have to eventually come out the other side and be like, you know, punk, and especially in something so male dominated as punk as the punk scene was, like it has to reflect that. And I think like Jackass comes out of the punk scene, comes out of the skate scene, and it is that you have to eventually accept like this is a very, very male thing.
Yeah.
And if you, what is that but a queer thing?
And I don't want to come off like, oh, just the existence of male nudity makes this like somehow a punching up queer supporting endeavor. But they were called out on it, and they would always like stand their ground. Like there are thought pieces out there specifically about Wild Boys, because it was this late night TV show that a lot of young men were discovering themselves watching. Like, oh, Steve-O and Chris are just kind of camping out together on Lakeside this episode at night. It never went full joke with it. You know what I'm getting at? Like it was never like
oh, I touched you. Like there's no like gay panic.
And I think that there's something really cool about that. And whenever it gets brought up, they're like, oh no, we knew. Like we knew. Like there's
This tangent, but mention of Speedos reminded me. I think like one thing that maybe is to blame, that Jackass is to blame for, is Sacha Baron Cohen. I know they coincide, sure, but like
they walked, like they proved like hidden camera stuff could work.
Yeah, the hidden camera stuff, the characters, the nudity and stuff of it. Yeah, that also feels like it's from the same era, but I think it's aging much worse.
Yes,
Agreed.
Agreed. Because Sacha Baron Cohen takes himself too seriously.
Yeah.
And I think I mean it is funny because if we want to talk about the legacy of Jackass, I don't know what good comes out of it in the end, but I don't think it's Jackass's fault, right? I think Jackass didn't think about what would happen if we could reach 1 million people every time we shot something.
Sure.
Even that is too highbrow a thought for
right, but then it does come in like, you know, the people our age and a little older who are, you know, kind of the poison of culture at the moment. You can see it.
Yes.
You can see like, okay, they were like, well, you can do anything you want.
What can you do with attention?
And if it gets a reaction, it's good. Right. So like the legacy's not great, but I don't blame them any more than, you know, you would blame any sort of originator of something. They don't know where it's going to go. They didn't dictate what was going to happen next.
Yeah, you're going to get mad at Chuck Berry for Ted Nugent.
Right. Like eventually.
I mean, there's reasons to get mad at Chuck Berry.
Yeah. Scatological, like Jackass.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah. The hidden cameras talk about.
Sure. That was a bad example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any parting thoughts regarding Jackass? I think I got through my quick punch list. I could talk for another hour about Jackass. It's difficult not just to talk about specific bits because they elicit the rarest of things, like raw laughter, and it's not just like nostalgia laughter. It's like the hardest of things. It's really funny to watch Jackass. It's I think one of the most successful comedic enterprises. Yeah. You know, like I was never a America's Funniest Home Videos guy, but Jackass like ruins me some nights, like in a good way. Like if I need to laugh, I watch Jackass.
We're also the demographic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like we are the people that show was made for.
Sure. And I think if you're like nowadays, the most comparable thing is probably like YouTube compilations of like fail blog videos.
Yeah.
Which even those are old now. Or I wonder if like a 14-year-old would find the Jackass movies like moot or quaint.
I think, I mean, it's so Y2K flavored, but the underlying thing they're doing in Jackass is pretty timeless.
Yeah.
Mass media thing, or mass, what's the word I'm looking for?
Appeal? Mass market?
It's like there's elements of it in vaudeville. Buster Keaton, you know, like
they own that in that second movie ending. The Buster Keaton.
Right, yeah. Like they acknowledge, like, Buster Keaton learned his craft in vaudeville, just like falling on his butt every day, and tumbling, and like circuses and carnivals would have this kind of stuff. There's destruction. There's demolition derby stuff. There's
bull riding.
There's Evil
clowns.
Knievel. Everybody watched. People would watch Evil Knievel to see him fail for the chance to see him fail.
NASCAR races, frankly.
Yeah. And wrestling, like there's so many examples of audiences going to see people get hurt, and it's a pristine example. It's like a pure version of that. I think
there's like a reductive like execution of it. Like, yes, we're going to present like stuntmen.
Yeah.
My name is Johnny Knoxville, which is a stage name, not his real name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. His name's Philip Clapp, I believe.
Clapp.
They've all talked like Steve, you know, like like they all have like stage names, like Danger Ehren, Steve O. Like, you know, there's a certain, and I feel like that adds to the comedic cocktail of like, no, we are the professionals, like, and we are going to entertain you.
And arguably they are.
They are. They're good at it.
Yeah.
I wonder what professional stunt people, union stunt people thought of Jackass.
They're stealing jobs.
Not stealing jobs, but I would love
Mocking
to
the
hear
profession.
Now or of the time the kind of people who would never do what they were doing, or they would do it differently.
Yeah.
I would just like to hear like professional stunt people's opinions of Jackass.
A lot of guys named like Wild Dog.
Yeah. I wonder if they love it or if they dislike it or what, or if it bothers them, or, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say on like my final reflection on Jackass is it's one, as you both said, very millennial.
Yes.
It's ours. It doesn't belong to our parents. It didn't cross over into the next generation. It's very much ours, which I appreciated for that. It's also very American.
Yes.
It's
bar band.
It's a bar band thing, but it's also too like everything in America that gets celebrated is about pain, right? Football gets celebrated. The military gets celebrated.
Capitalism.
Like everything is like, there is everything in America is like, if you could get hurt doing it, then you're a hero. Jackass is funny because it's like, well, what if we just aimed to get hurt? And somehow that's not as acceptable as like 17-year-olds getting CTE in order to win a game against the town next door.
Sure.
Or like, you know, these kids getting, you know, I work at a high school and I watch the military recruit out of our cafeteria. And I'm watching what's going on in the world now and thinking like there's sun in these kids somewhere eventually. So it's like one of those things like Jackass is, if you want to give it an artistic thesis, it is like, this is everything else without the set dressing.
Yeah.
Like we are a country who loves pain.
Yeah.
I think
And
football
now
should
watching it.
open with a disclaimer saying like,
Don't do that.
Don't do this. Don't aspire to do
With a
this.
Minutemen song.
Instead now they're like, hey, if you're a Latin American, you could totally play football. Like they were trying to pull kids away from playing soccer into playing football.
Yeah.
To try to like expand the global reach, but it is that, like you said, Neil, Jackass tells you not to.
Yeah.
All these other things try to get you to do it.
Repeatedly.
Jackass is not a national enterprise that is like exploiting people.
No, but it's the one that people went after. It's the one, and like I said, I appreciate it for that. And again, for being a millennial American thing that doesn't belong to another country, doesn't belong to another age
And it
group.
doesn't have a commercial genesis.
Right.
Like it came from like a punk magazine that Larry Flint had to like buy to defend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there is, and it has evolved and it has improved. I like that the cast is more diverse in every regard now. And I like that they've kind of stopped like bullying innocent people in public.
Yeah.
But like those are good changes. That's not like Disney bought it and was like, could like could they give a PSA in every episode at the end? Like, there is something I think very intimate about it that still remains. Maybe this new movie will be terrible. Who knows? I still want like a tell-all documentary. I want like a documentary series about the making of, which is basically what the podcasts are. But Corey, how about you? You got anything?
Not really. I think we kind of touched on everything. Jackass is cool.
Jackass is great.
Cool.
It's very cool. I'm glad, Neil, that I've forced you to watch. You still need to watch at least one of the movies from front to back, I think, to get it.
I should. I mean, it looks.
I think you should watch like just episode 1 of the first season. And
we've talked very little about the show, and we've watched very few clips from the show.
I mean, the movies are just better versions of the show.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's weird though, for like, not to jump back into other topics, but for me, the show was the thing, and it felt like to me like the show existed, and then after the show was done, eventually they made a movie, and it was like, oh, fun, they made a movie.
They syndicated that show. Like MTV aired it all the time.
I never realized until more recently how short-lived the show actually was. It only had 3 seasons.
8 episode orders. And again, like we're not getting paid like thousands.
But it was such a cultural thing for people my age, like people in their like 13, 14-year-old boys in
real.
middle America.
Yeah.
It was a huge thing before the movie ever came out.
They probably thought the movie was going to kill it. And that first movie isn't even the best movie of it. Like, it's good. I don't know. The second movie is definitely better.
It is, but
number 2.
But watching the show and then seeing it on like years later, the movie came out years later, watching it on the big screen with, although some of the footage isn't as high def, there's a lot of amazing quality footage, and that was never what the show looked like.
You felt like you were finally seeing it for the first time.
It was weird. It was a weird. It was like,
that's what Ryan Dunn looks like.
It's like, oh my god, Johnny Knoxville. And then like shortly after the first movie, Johnny Knoxville started getting some movie roles.
He was in Men in Black
stuff.
2 like the next year.
Yeah,
and,
and it was like,
movie.
wow, these guys are like making it. They're gonna go somewhere.
It's
in
so
their
weird
careers.
seeing him with white hair now.
He looks so good as a silver fox.
He grades so well.
He was dying forever, and then like when the pandemic hit, he couldn't get his dye.
Yeah.
And Tremaine was the one who said, "Just who cares?
Yeah.
You look great."
Yeah, he looks great. I'm just saying, like, God, like he was such a dark-haired man. Now it's just the opposite. He didn't go gray. He
Jackass
just went white.
scared him white.
Something scared that man.
Very Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Just like, how old are you? I don't know.
You know that scene in Evil Dead 2 where Bruce Campbell sees like a monster and he gets the white in his hair?
Yeah.
That was Johnny Knoxville looking at a bowl for the first time.
Three Stooges. There's the other thing. We wouldn't have Jackass without the Three Stooges.
So.
All right. Well, that was our discussion about Jackass, and we'll probably have more after the break. And we're back here at Guaranteed Audio with myself, Corey Tilton, and Neil Ciceriga. Anthony got lost on his way to the Q&A segment of this episode. This Q&A segment is brought to you by the Animal Rescue League of Boston. I just want to give them a shout out. I took advantage of the spay wagon this week to get my cat spayed, and they cost literally $1,000 less than 2 animal hospitals I contacted. So I tipped them well.
If you're round to the nearest 1,000, it's $0.
It was outrageous, the quotes I was getting. So yeah, I tipped them well, and my cat's doing great. And I just want to give a shout out to the Animal Rescue League of Boston. Thank you so much for providing the services you do. And I'm sorry that I'm mentioning you on our Jackass episode, where we took questions. Neil, where do we get our questions from?
GuaranteedVideo.com, which is a redirect at this time to patreon.com/guaranteed.
That's right. We take questions for Guaranteed Audio over there, and our other shows too, like Camp Computer Games. And we have a few questions about the thesis, the theme, the subject matter of this episode, which is Jackass. And our first question comes from Jesse. Jesse asks, I once read that Jackass was basically responsible for the early success of YouTube. Since you guys have been on the platform since the mid-2000s, do you think there's any truth to this? How do you think Jackass influenced the concept of a viral video? So YouTube took off in 2005, right? That was the pre-Google YouTube.
Yeah.
Do you feel the first and early days of YouTube felt Jackass adjacent, Jackass influenced?
I don't know, because I wasn't really watching YouTube that much.
Yeah.
It was then also ran next to like Vimeo and Google Video.
Yeah.
And I feel like the YouTube, whatever culture there was around YouTube kind of was a couple years later.
Yeah.
And by then it was like there was Jackass-ish stuff, but it was more for nerds. It was more like the nerd equivalent of Jackass is like putting stuff in blenders, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I was seeing more E-Bombs World style videos on early YouTube, more cartoons, more like music video style stuff. But I don't think I was seeing like action sports and like people hurting themselves that much on YouTube in the early day. For some reason, now that I think about it, it's kind of weird that I wasn't. But
the early days of YouTube were very prototypical in my cloudy memory. A lot of my early memories of YouTube were seeing YouTube used as a brand new second memory. Just looking up old TV shows was how I spent a lot of my early weeks on YouTube. Like, oh, do they have clips from this cartoon that I haven't seen anywhere? Because VOD didn't exist in any real capacity. iTunes Video, Amazon Prime Video, all that stuff wasn't really part of my life yet. But yeah, I would occasionally see like prank videos edited in like Windows Movie Maker and things like that.
But yeah, and I think Jackass has the whole like homemade fuck around on camera quality to it. It's just YouTube was a little less like stunt oriented.
I feel like I saw more prank videos pop up on YouTube and other video platforms about a decade in. You know, there was a big, I bring this up a lot, and maybe it's just because my perspective is colored a certain way, but I feel like the early days of YouTube had a bit more of a short film gold rush DNA to them.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw like McDonald's drive-through prank videos pop up until I was like in my mid-20s, you know?
So we reject the premise of your question, Jesse. Thank you.
No, I think it's a fair question. Like, I think there probably was prank videos, but I don't remember those being the big viral.
That might be our, what we used YouTube for personally, which doesn't reflect what was broadly popular, probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Question 2 comes from Nathaniel Rohr, who asks, does any other series demand a raucous crowd to watch it more than this one? So I've only seen one Jackass movie in theaters. What about you, Corey?
I think I've seen them all in theaters.
Even Bad Grandpa?
Yeah. Saw Bad Grandpa in theaters. And were there 2 Bad Grandpas?
There was like a second edit. Like the deleted scenes were put. Do you remember which of them had the craziest crowd, like the most responsive audience?
I mean, when I went and saw 4 with you and Craig, there was definitely like a good crowd in there. But I think 3 was the one that, like, 3 came out long enough after Jackass was a thing that it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh my God, they're getting back on the horse. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was right when 3D came out, so there was like 3D, and I remember there's a shot, I think we watched it, where there's a, am I allowed to say dildo?
Yes.
There's a dildo getting like blasted, and it keeps going cross frame.
Yeah, they set up a bunch of zany frames, Neil, where like you'll see a shot of like a miniature of Paris, and this dildo will come into frame on the left and in slow motion 3D come across.
Yeah.
And they do like 6 of those. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was in 3D, and it was early enough after after Jackass was big, but like long enough after it was big that like there was a huge turnout. Movie like sold out. It was like lines down the street type of deal. Getting into the movie theaters for it.
Yeah.
And people were like standing up and like cheering when the dildo was being shot, and like people were screaming in the theater and stuff. So I think that was like as rowdy as
It got.
I'd seen it.
Yeah. I mean, look
Well, I
here.
regret not seeing any of them in theaters.
Jackass 3 made $118 million, and it's the number one, like the highest grossing of the series. Jackass the movie only made $64 million. Bad Grandpa made $100 million. Jackass Forever made $80 million, and it was like right on the heels of the pandemic too. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I'm curious, had had theater attendance not dipped the way it did in culturally, would 4 have been as big a turnout as 3, or was it like also kind of too late where like people our age are like, I'll see it at home, I don't need to go see it in theaters?
I do remember the marketing campaign for Jackass Forever really pushed the, hey, getting together in a movie theater will make a funny movie funnier, which is true. I think that like the trailer said something like, when was the last time you got together with your friends and laughed your asses off? Like that was like the trailer, and then it just cut to like Jackass Forever stuff, and that it worked on me. I immediately texted a bunch of friends going, all right, so can we all get tickets? We should probably go do this. I will say straight up, the one Jackass movie I saw in theaters was Jackass Forever, and it absolutely amplified the experience. Like we all walked out of the theater red in the face. Like Ryan was having a really good time, and it's not usually his cup of tea. I'm trying to think of any other movie series or movie that benefits from a raucous crowd. I mean, Rocky Horror, to a degree, it brings out a certain side of people.
Yeah.
That's a movie you can watch by yourself, though. I mean,
I know, but in a theater, it's a different thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
For some reason, popping into my mind is when I saw The Revenant in theaters, and that it's not funny, but that's got a lot of like cringe violence in it, and I just turned my head to look at the audience behind me, and that didn't amplify the movie. Like most movies, are better with an audience if you're all on the same page.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What about have you both seen Green Room?
Yeah.
No, but I that you have.
It's amazing.
I saw that movie opening weekend in New York with my good friend Tom, and there was a scene in the second half where something violent was happening. And I looked over at Tom, and we were sitting next to a couple, and the couple was both like literally doing this. They didn't want to. They were palming their eyes, and Tom had taken off his hat, and he was biting the hat rim.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There must be some of that watching Jackass, right? Because it's funny, but there's also. I mean, you showed me a scene. Again, I bring it up. The fish hook through the cheek. I was
that's not even the worst one.
I know
that scene at least is funny because it's a funny concept. It is daring because there are sharks involved, and the sharks aren't being tortured. They just put chum in the water and see what happens.
Yeah, if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, doesn't Steve-O pierce his ass together in one of them?
Yeah, they put like a stud between his two ass cheeks.
Yeah.
I love
that. Was probably the one that did it for me, where I was like,
There's some stuff I block it out. Like when we've put on Jackass before recording this episode, I was fast forwarding through the movies to try and show Neil like half an hour of, you should probably see this. You should probably see this. And we stopped at every other bit. You didn't get to see anything with shopping carts. You've barely tapped the surface of it, scratched the surface. But there's one bit I think from the first movie where they just give each other paper cuts for 2 minutes.
Yeah, like half the stuff they do must elicit sound from the audience that is less laughter, more like
It's funny. It's funny.
It is funny to be in an audience that is moaning,
Test your metal.
disturbed.
Yeah. A good horror movie is good with the right crowd. But as far as like a raucous crowd, like a crowd that's into it, my mother told me a long time ago that when the first Rocky came out, it was in theaters for a long time. And she brought her sister and her younger brother to go see it. And when the fight ended at the end of the movie, people were getting up and like running up and down the aisles, like screaming. Like that's fun to hear that like that's what that movie did to people, back in the day.
I saw Superbad in theaters, and I remember that like will live forever in my memory as like, again, people cheering on McLovin and people like screaming, laughing at like some of the dick drawings at the end and like that sort of stuff. Yeah,
What about Get Out? Did you both see Get Out in theaters?
it did.
That was a bit raucous.
Ryan and I saw that in Somerville at Assembly during the big last gasp of that movie, like the last 15, 20 minutes of that movie. I think there were 2 times you could feel the audience moving in their seats, and people were literally yelling at the screen, "Come on, don't go in there," like that kind of thing.
It's your inner feelings made audio, you know.
Yeah, and to hear other people yelling exactly what you're thinking. They're yelling "Get Out." That movie's up there in terms of getting me to feel a certain way in the theater. I mean, other raucous stuff. I mean, now we're just talking about movies that make people excited. But yeah, Jackass is up there. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other musicals, because musicals tend to get people out there, pumped up.
Yeah.
Oh, how about every movie we've watched at Trash Night back in the day?
Rockula? Rockula's a good one.
Rockula. Bad movie, fun bad movies are always more fun to watch with a crowd than by yourself.
Yeah.
Quick.
If the crowd is in the right frame of mind and allowing themselves to not make fun of the movie, but my favorite parts of Trash Night, which was a series that they did at the Brattle of cheesy bad movies but well curated ones. People would yell jokes, but they would also get into the movie and enhance it by cheering and and all that stuff. Yeah,
the villain would walk into the room and someone in the back of the theater would yell "Fuck you!"
Yeah, exactly.
When I saw Roar at Coolidge. I don't know if you guys know Roar.
Is that the Lion documentary?
Roar is a movie made by a very wealthy couple from Hollywood. They were executive producers and stuff and directors, and it was made in the 70s, and they fell in love with wildlife and animals and lions, and they were big proponents for kind of pushing the Endangered Species Act into effect. And they made a movie, a kind of homage to their love letter to wildlife, and they had 150 big cats in the movie, and it has a plot line to it, but it took them 11 or 12 years to film the movie. The movie never got an actual release. 70 members of the cast and crew were either minor hurt or horribly maimed, including members of the family that were in it. The movie never actually got released, and then Alamo Drafthouse ended up buying the rights to the movie, got an actual final release for it. It ended up getting a Blu-ray release, and it ended up doing a short tour, and they played it at Coolidge and stuff. And it's hard to watch. It's fun. It's a really fun. There's a lot of love in the movie, but it took them 11 years to film the movie because people just kept getting mauled by lions and tigers.
So you're just seeing the actors look visibly scared?
Yeah, and it's wild to watch because you occasionally you find yourself reminding yourself that these are the best takes that they had. And there's shots where people are reading lines and are just looking at tigers over their shoulder because something's coming up behind them, and you're like, wow, what's on the cutting room floor? This took them 11 years to make this movie, and this is the best they could get of that one shot. And character
Jackass guys, they'd get it done quick.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. But when I saw it in theaters, and people were gasping, people were screaming, people were covering their eyes, and because it is takes where people there's a guy that gets scalped in a take. He's just in the water, and a tiger comes up behind him and grabs his head, and
it's like a snuff film. He actually gets that's real, like a person.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
He gets demolished, but it's a good movie. I highly recommend it again. See it. It's fun.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
In general, I'd recommend seeing any screening of a classic beloved film that people have seen a million times. If it's that kind of screening, usually people are a little, they're excited to watch the movie and they're into it. We saw RoboCop a few years ago, and that was definitely a movie everyone in the audience had probably seen it before. Well, some people were seeing it for the first time, but it had the vibe of people watching their favorite movie and not being overly polite. Just it was that was the day I realized RoboCop is almost primarily a comedy. This is a much funnier movie than I remember it, because the audience was just laughing their ass off at everything.
It's a movie pointing and laughing at America.
Exactly.
Yeah, good answers, guys. We got a Question from Zara Garmson. Thoughts on the PS2 game? Which I think means, what are our thoughts on Jackass, the video game for the PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, hey, good news. The models resource has downloadable 3D models ripped from this game.
Yeah, I actually dug through them when we were making the opening for Camp Computer Games because I thought
right.
I was suggesting we put Steve-O in the woods somewhere, like galloping.
That's pretty good.
Like take like animation from like a deer and apply it to Steve-O.
On all four.
So the PlayStation 2 Jackass game, yeah, it was definitely. I've barely played it. Neil, what did you think it looked like genre-wise? It was a business simulator.
Oh, a business simulator. You were describing it as kind of a business simulator because you have to improve the ratings of the show.
Yeah, like the game is structured as if you're playing episodes of the show, and each episode has like maybe half a dozen segments, like sketches, and each sketch is a mini game, and you have to get the highest score possible.
Yeah.
It is funny to hear Steve-O do voice acting circa 2005 because his voice sounds worse than it does now. He sounds better now, 20 years removed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe there's a PlayStation game for Jackass and you have barely played it, Kevin.
Listen, I didn't even see the first 3 movies in the theater.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you had a Johnny Knoxville poster in your...
I love Jackass. It's one of the few good things America's produced. No, it looks fun. We should play it on Camp Computer Games.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like you can beat all of it in 5 hours. So it's only 2 Resident Evils.
Let's make Ryan play all of the game.
I feel like Dan would unenjoy that the most. Let's make him play it.
Dan would grimace the most. Last question is from Emma Maki. And this is a bit of an inside baseball question for longtime fans of Guaranteed Video. Emma asks, I seem to recall Spencer from New Kids on the Rock wore a hat with the Jackass logo on it in episode 6. From a character standpoint, do you think Jackass is a show someone like Spencer might actually enjoy, or is it purely an ironic fashion statement? So Corey, Neil, Ryan, and I made an episode of New Kids on the Rock back in, I don't know, 2009. What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, 2009.
Ryan wrote and directed this one, and in it we had someone thrust upon us to join our fake TV show, and they were a hipster. That was the joke. And he wore a Jackass #2 hat throughout the whole episode. He's played by our good friend Jake, who is always a great villain. He played a villain in a few things we made. I reached out to Ryan the other day, and Ryan confirmed that the hat was owned by Jake, the actor from the episode. And he said, hey, this would be funny. If I'm supposed to be a hipster, I want to show up and smoke cloves and wear a Hulkamania t-shirt and a Jackass hat. Postmodern, like ironic detachment. Like clearly the character's supposed to not genuinely like those things. The running gag that whole episode was that he liked it ironically. Am I remembering correctly, Neil?
Yeah, that was basically it. It was a very of its time bit of satire. And I can't say I've ever seen. I feel like Jackass actually defies ironic appreciation. There's no. If you watch Jackass, you can't be above it. You know.
You're in for a penny and for a pound.
Exactly. But that works. That makes sense. That character in particular is someone who would never watch Jackass, kind of like me, but would advertise the show in an ironic way. I guess, coming at in this point in history, Jackass is kind of vindicated. I guess we're talking about it now as something that has aged surprisingly okay for the most part, and as Anthony said, people want it to mean something.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason we're talking about it now. Versus, I don't know, what's something akin to Jackass from around the same time that has not survived, that if you were to enjoy it now, it would completely be ironic.
Like, what'd you say, Cork?
Punked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, or like watching, perfect example is sometimes I will watch clips from Chris Angel. Mind Freak.
Yeah.
And that is a show you laugh at.
I think we associate camp, the idea of something having camp, with being mid-century and wrapping up in like the early 60s. Like when I think of camp, I usually don't think of it applying to things more modern.
Yeah.
Taking the lens of what is camp and applying it to things from the Y2K years.
Yeah.
Like Jackass doesn't have, they already were being campy. They were wearing like inappropriate clothing but Punk'd feels campy in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? It feels like, oh, how quaint. Like, you know.
I think I mean, speaking of punk, Jackass is too punk to be camp, and Punk'd is not punk.
No.
And I guess it is a form of camp or kitsch or something. But I think back in those days of hipsters, there was kind of a relationship with camp that was a little unhealthy, and people didn't know how to. People didn't know how to express an appreciation for uncool things, while also trying to maintain, a self-image of being cool, I guess.
Hard needle to thread.
Yeah.
Good poll, Corey. Like that's like a perfect contemporary. MTV must have felt the pressure to keep making that kind of show once Jackass blew up, because there was Punk'd, Viva La Bam.
Yeah. The vibe of Blink-182, I guess. There were a lot of the music. What?
Tom Green. Tom Green was a bit of a progenitor for all that stuff.
Yeah,
but none of Tom Green comes back in fashion ever.
It's about time.
I like Tom Green. Seems like a decent guy.
Yeah.
I think his efforts when it comes to streaming from home go underappreciated. He was kind of ahead of the curve on, I'm going to build a studio in my house and just make a lot of content, like a basic talk show. What's most important is the sound and the guests. And he was ahead of that. Tom Green went from MTV to doing that. And he seems to have owned it and done well for himself. You know?
I will say that perhaps like ironic detachment has been replaced a little bit by what we're doing now, which is almost pretentious, some might say. Or this podcast might age in 20 years. We might come off as saying, like, just enjoy the fucking show. You don't need to justify it so hard.
Well, I think we know that. We're like tongue-in-cheek throughout the whole thing.
I know.
I think a lot of the discussion specifically about Jackass that we've had has been turning over the stones that you never really touch with Jackass. Some people might think it's because it's shallow. I think it's because, it's a hard thing to look at too long, intentionally so.
It's crass. Yeah, crass.
It's crass. Yeah, like you don't want to like everything 20 years removed gets that reappraisal, assuming it's popular, right? Like 20 years tends to be the cycle, right?
Except for porn.
No one ever goes back to 20-year-old porn.
I don't know. No, I'm just thinking like, but Jackass is kind of like, it's pornographic. It's
extreme.
It's extreme. It's just like, and you would think it would, I guess, it's just, there's something about the headspace that it is in, and like the dirtiness of it that makes it feel like something that should absolutely not age well, that should not stand the test of time. And yet,
outside of the subconscious home movie, like it feels like you're watching your friends on an old home video factor that the show was afforded by when it happened. Like we mentioned earlier, like cameras were getting smaller, and these were all ambitious amateur filmmakers in their own way, taking the lessons learned from skate tapes and applying them to sketch comedy. That has an appeal. It has a very specific vintage because it happened before internet video.
Yeah. You keep calling it sketch comedy like they wrote it out,
Sketches are what I'd call them. Stunts. Some of them are sketches.
Yeah, sure.
Bits, I guess you'd call it. Bits. One thing I think that does differentiate Jackass is when you think of now the modern paradigm of amateur entertainer takes their home camera, like their phone, and makes some form of content, whether it's a sketch or a prank video or a stunt or what have you. The idea of what an influencer is has been codified. There are role models and lessons that have been learned by millions of people over the last 20 years that, people can pick up the ball and run with, regardless of their age or the content they're going to make. Jackass predates all of that. There is like a bleeding heart nakedness to it. Hey, this is just what we want to do, that there is a charm to that when it works, like seeing these guys proudly going, hey, I'm going to do this stunt, introducing themselves in the third person, like, hi, I'm Steve Owen, this is this trick. There's a showmanship there that is quaint in a cute way. Mm-hmm. I mean, 20 years from now, no one's going to be listening to this in 20 years. Maybe us. At least we're not talking about something from the 80s or 90s,
That's true.
Corey, any parting thoughts before we get out of here? I feel like you haven't gotten to talk much. Say punked again.
Punked. Punked is a weird word.
What about Fear Factor? What do you think of that?
Johnny Knoxville's hosting it now.
Great.
What?
Yeah, he's hosting the newest Fear Factor.
I feel like of all the shows from that era of Jackass on MTV, I feel like Jackass is surprisingly the one that has aged the best and can still be watched. Because I'm thinking it back to, there was Punked, but there was a couple of like dating shows. I remember one where they all sit in a van and then they like woman turns one guy down and then like he gets back in the van and then the next guy comes out and then it's some sort of like rapid fire dating show that was like really nasty and
they all are.
I know. But I remember like Pimp My Ride and like there were a few spin-offs from that like have not aged well.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, younger folks in the last 2 years have gotten into like lo-fi digital cameras. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Digital like still cameras or like, like handy cam, that kind of thing. That kind of blew up on social media. I don't know if it's still trending, but I wonder if that same teenager that loves the cheaper cameras, the cheesy, like, Y2K digital aesthetic would find Jackass fun, or is Jackass still exclusively for millennials? Because when I saw Jackass Forever in the theater, I don't think anyone in the theater was younger than us.
No.
That next movie is going to have a trailer in the near future. It's coming out in about 5 months, just to date this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I bet they'll get some younger folks involved. They had some younger folks in Forever. There's probably going to be even more new faces in the new Jackass movie.
Yeah, but like, do you think even getting some younger faces involved that any of, like, I feel like it's a no, I don't want to say a lost art, but I feel like it is a genre of entertainment that younger people don't care about, or maybe just Jackass in general. Like I can watch some guy do something similar on his phone, but meaner. I don't know.
It is sort of a unique obstacle for Jackass.
Yeah.
But Jackass was already very vignette-y. All the memories of Jackass are 4 minutes or less, right? It's like a SNL or something. It was already a big question with the first movie. Can you make this 100 minutes or 90 minutes? And they have 5 times, and it keeps delivering and making a ton of money and reviewing better and better. Jackass Forever is very well reviewed, I believe. If you haven't seen a Jackass movie in the theaters, assuming this next one reviews half as well as the previous ones, take a leap, folks.
Bring your kids.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if it was PG-13? If they made a PG-13 Jackass movie? How angry would everyone get?
There's probably a way to do it.
I can't think of a single. I mean, there's probably like 3 bits ever in Jackass, ever. Like that would pass that test.
Maybe. I don't know if you should include this, but I showed Darcy the clip you showed me of Wee Man with the bungee cord.
It's so funny.
It's really funny. I thought, like, well, that one is pretty much safe for work, and it's just funny to see 2 people attached by a bungee cord falling off a bridge.
What did your 7-year-old daughter think?
She said, "Oh, that is very funny." Yeah.
Did she laugh or did she just acknowledge?
Maybe it was more of an acknowledgement, but it was.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. She was just asking me. She was asking me what I did with my day, and I was trying to explain, like, oh, I did a podcast and talked about a show that used to be on TV that involved people doing dangerous stunts and making fools of themselves.
Uncle Ben liked it. It was called Jackbutt.
Jackbutt, yes.
Did we talk about Jackbutt on this?
Oh, yeah. I guess we can close with this little anecdote.
Yeah.
My little brother, Ben, when he was a kid, and to this day, refuses to ever say a swear. We used to try so hard to get him to swear back in the day. But I just have this memory of him trying to talk about the show, Jackass, and he just, without missing a beat, called it Jackbutt. And now, Kevin, I've told you this, and you say Jackbutt all the time.
It's so funny.
That's pretty good.
It is fun.
Jackbutt.
Yeah. All right. Well, I keep on jacking butt, my friends.
Yeah.